Howdy, folks. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year. It's, what is it? 1/1/2025. Um, so anyway, uh, I had made a decision. I've been going through a lot of, like, life changes and complications and stuff like that over the last, 2 years. Probably 3 years. Well, it's been difficult the last 3 years trying to keep my job. Finally got to a point where I couldn't keep my job theoretically, and was forced into a position where I had to quit my job so that I could access my retirement money so that I could pay my medical bills, because uh, the way things worked and the healing process and everything like that, I wasn't able to go back to work, and I had to access all that stuff. So it's not something that I'm happy about. But that's just part of life and getting older. But I'm still good at what I do. That's the thing. I'm still have all my skill sets and everything like that. But right now, with all the rumors in the economy and whatever's going on in the world, and it feels like everything's gonna start swirling down the drain. All you can do is keep on keeping on, and trying to figure out a way to make things work. And the worse it gets, the more opportunity there is for people to find their niche, in my opinion. And it's the beginning of the year. You can adjust your strategy on what you want to do and things like that. And so, anyway, of course, you guys know I sort of kind of play my bagpipes. And I'm not doing any of the holiday stuff this year. I got so much stuff going on with being not inducted, but getting started up with the VA and all this other paperwork that I got to take care of, and then at some point I'll eventually have to pay taxes, regardless of what my medical situation is, and this, that, and the other. And if I had to hire a lawyer to figure it out, then I'll end up owing the lawyer. It's a catch-22 all the way around. So you know what? It's just I'll deal with it as it comes. So anyway, yesterday I don't know what was in my head, but I went over to the Ogden WorkMed, which is the doctor over there, the one who made me have to go get an SPE. And I went into the doctor's office and asked if I could talk to him. I'm not going to say his name, because he's actually not a bad guy. And he came out. He looked a little wear-worn and tired. I don't want to overanalyze that, but he looked tired. And I walked in and I asked the front office ladies if I could talk to him. And he came out. He's lost weight. And he came out and had kind of a dubious look on his face, like, what? Why are you here? And I told him, I'm not asking for anything. And I don't really blame him for anything, because we're affiliated in a number of ways with the same people. And he has to keep his income. He has to protect his job. And he doesn't need somebody, dissatisfied person, coming in and making threats and this stuff, that, and the other. And my main focus was to let him know that I understand the pressure that he was under from other directions, and that he needs to protect his income also. And I let him know that I wasn't holding anything against him and that I had no grudge. And that the situation that with me having to get a skills performance evaluation on my foot, and I walked in straight in. I barely have a limp anymore. Fully functional. I can drive. I can do everything that mostly a normal person can do, except for I'm not going to do 100-yard sprints. So we sat and chatted while I was standing and he was sitting, and we talked for about 40 minutes or so. And the relief on his face when I came in and told him that I don't hold him responsible because the company that we both work for, I don't care what anybody says. They can. The separation is in name only, but not in function. So, I let him know that I had no grudges against him, and that there was no bad feeling that I would be projecting towards him or anything like that. And he ended up giving me some information, and that maybe will help me get my skills performance evaluation done. I don't know how much it'll cost, but it's tax deductible. So I look at it that way. The only thing is I don't know if I can afford a tax attorney for all the crap I've been through medically and everything like that. So if there's anybody out there that watches this who is outside of my income bracket, who wants to take pity on me as a charity or a write-off on your part, I'll be happy to talk to you. So anyway, I got that part resolved, and it really cleared up anxiety on his part, and me letting go of my anger and realizing that he was not entirely in control of his situation. I could elaborate, but it's true that he was outside of his ability to control things. And so just letting him know, you could see the relief in his face about the way things went. So anyway, moving on to that, is the weirdest thing dealing with the union with the company that I work for. Now, I used to be a Teamster in Southern California, and I was a pain in the butt. But because back then, the way I was socialized as a kid is we were basically anti-union because it was socialist. And, more of the cowboy ethic is figure it out and figure a way out or around a problem so that you can move on and continue with your other goals. So, anyway, well, I was with the Teamsters in Irvine, California for 6 or 7 years, and it was mostly Latino dominated, with a lot of Filipinos and various other ethnicities, and because I'm a multiculturalist, I generally got along with just about everybody. The Latinos, because they're in the transportation industries and stuff like that, they're mainly not friendly towards white people, which is fine. Okay, that's life. The river changes course every now and then. So I put up with a lot of guff from the CEO of the company, but I had the union there, and every time the company tried to get me in trouble, we'd have the union and a witness and this, that, and the other. So, and I don't know if I was a badass or anything, but I was fearless back then. And so we kept having these office sessions where I'm like, I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. They would make a put a piece of paper in front of me. I'm not signing it. I don't agree to whatever's in the letter. This, that, and the other. Marked received, no acknowledgement. That was my thing that kept me straight. But now here in Utah, with the union that I joined the union because I thought I would be given a chance out here in Utah, because I knew how the Teamsters system worked. Now I have to admit, the Teamsters didn't really like me that much because I was so feisty, and I was a minority in the shop that I worked in, which was fine, but as much of a pain in the derriere, the butt, whatever you want to say, the Teamsters actually tried to get me. They represented me really well, and I'm probably wasn't then as grateful as I should have been, because they actually had workshops and stuff like that they tried to integrate me into. But back then, my maturity level was a little bit different than it is now. They were trying to bring me along because I was a fighter and I knew how to stick up for my rights. And there was a lot of other stuff that I learned how to do and acquire to be a pain in the butt and not lose my job. So out here in Utah, the union, it was really because I know how the Teamsters worked in supporting me, even though they didn't like me. They were responsive to making sure that I didn't get fired or forced out or stuff like that. Now, they had the normal stuff that happened that work in those kind of manly environments. But here in Utah, when I was trying to protect my job, we never had a sit down with the shop steward, no shop steward, no management, no nothing. It was just the union telling me, "Oh, we took care of all of this. Well, can I have any documents?" No, they wouldn't give me any documents. It was zero representation. But they took my money anyway. So I feel like I got ripped off by the union that I was theoretically part of. And then when I quit the UTA because I had to access my health, I had to access my retirement money so I could pay my bills. So I contacted the union, and they said, "Well, you quit your job. That means you don't work for us anymore." No, I didn't quit my position with the union. My job is, they aren't joined at the hip because that's a conflict of interest. So I have not gotten from the union that I worked for here in Utah, I have not gotten any documentation from the union stating what they did for me. They still took my union dues payments, but they didn't represent me. Now, I even got to a point, because Utah, the way Utah is, everybody's a cousin. And what I mean by that is everybody knows everybody. And if they decide, and it's a very Mormon church thing, if they decide that you're not, it's a cultural thing, but it's a specific Mormon way of handling things, is you're outed. And it doesn't matter what you've paid in for representation or anything like that, you just lost it all. And the worst part was, up until, as a matter of fact, just a little bit after I quit my job, the union was still taking my union dues. And so when they said I quit, I'm assuming that they would send me some kind of letter or something like that saying how much I paid into the union dues. I've never had any accountability from the union as to what they discussed with management, or having a union shop steward there, a representative from the company, and a witness. Now, when I was with the Teamsters, that always happened. We had 3 people there, and basically they would try to force me to sign a piece of paperwork, and I would say, marked received, no acknowledgement. I wasn't going to argue with anybody over anything. So, I never, with the union, with the UTA, never had a meeting with a union rep, a witness, and the management. Never had to talk to them. So I feel like my union rights were abused or neglected by my shop steward and UTA. And I had to understand, I feel kind of like, you never know, someday I might wake up and my house is going to be on fire because I'm talking to you guys about this. Because that's the way it feels in Utah. I was born and raised here. Culturally, I'm a Utahn, but an old-time family, and this, that, and the other. And the politics work a little bit differently than they do in Southern California. Southern California, the union was taken seriously, and the company took the union took the company seriously, and the company took the, you know what I mean. They understood the rules, and there are certain laws that protect my rights. Well, I don't think my rights were protected, but that's neither here or there. I'm not giving up any backing off of anything. I'm just letting the company take advantage, the company and the union take advantage of their position, because I don't have the money to fight these people. Utah is still a small town, so you could, have something happen, an accidental accident, if you know what I mean, kind of thing. But the gist of the whole deal is the union that is with the UTA operates completely different than what I expected from the way a union should operate. And I don't feel like I got any representation. I even drove up to Butte, Montana, so I could go and talk to the Teamsters up there. But it was raining and storming so bad and everything like that, and it was, because I've been off for so long, my time sense is blown out, my days and my weeks in the calendar and stuff like that. And the VA is getting me back on track on following a calendar. So I've only screwed up once, thank goodness. But the ATU thing, or whatever union they are, because there's the ATU and then there's some other group there. I've never had a sit-down meeting with management and the union and me to solve a situation. It's always been just the union saying, oh yeah, we talked to them about this, that, and the other. I have no documentation of what they discussed. And I was never there for a meeting with three people, me, the union rep, and UTA rep. So, it's nothing that's ever happened with all three of us there together. Now, I've sat down and chatted with management, but management is all about protecting their situation. I understand that. That's corporate. I've worked in corporate before. Okay, so I understand the gist of the way things work. That's why we have unions, to protect our rights. But I can't trust the ATU to do it right, because so far nothing's followed through the way I see that things are supposed to happen. So there it is. A long rant, but at least I got the situation solved with my person that helped me out with my SPE. Gave me some information and a couple of contact numbers and stuff like that. So I get my SPE. I'm gonna do a couple of road trips to a couple of places where surviving and living is cheaper than living in Utah. Less complicated, more straightforward, and more real people. And what I didn't have, Paducah Area Transit an apology, because I got a call from Kentucky, from the director of Paducah Area Transit, and I didn't know that I had been hired. And he called me up and said, "Where are you? I thought you were going to start." Well, and I apologized, Chuck, for that, because I thought that, my situation was, at that point, is I probably wouldn't pass the Kentucky DOT. And I would have to do what I did last time, which is kind of cheating, is I went over and worked for the McCracken County Schools so that I could pass my DOT and start working for McCracken County Schools. And what I did last time, and it wasn't exactly right, but when you have a family that you're trying to take care of and you're doing everything you can to make things a success, that's kind of what you have to do. It's not a lack of conscience. It's I needed that DOT so that I could go back to work driving for Paducah Area Transit. And so that the whole thing was about survival, dealing with stepkids, one kid who hated me, which I was just trying to be a dad. What can you do? Complicated, but very educational. I don't know if I'll go back to Paducah, or I found another place that I might want to live if things don't work out here in Salt Lake City or Salt Lake area, Utah. Because I'm really good. I'm not applying for any jobs yet. I just want to do some exploration in a couple of other states that are around the area where I live here. That life might be a little bit easier. So there it is. Anyway, Happy New Year, and thanks for watching. I wish everybody who watches my little setup here, and I'm really low tech because I'm technology challenged, and my frustration tolerance is pretty short right now. But hopefully I can get back to work and pretend I'm normal. And I wish all of you guys all the luck and all the wealth and all that stuff that you deserve for all your hard work. And thanks for subscribing and listening to my super long rants. And we'll see you out there. Have a good one. And there it is. Thanks for watching. Bye.